Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Denise would like to introduce you to Wilson Bennett, a lovely man that she met on Facebook. He's a bit confused though. Hello, said Wilson. How are you doing? I'm very well, thanks, said Denise. How are you? I'm fine too, he said. Do I know you? Asked Denise. No, he said. Just saw your profile on my suggested friend and I decided to say hi. Okay, said Denise. I'm not very good with this internet stuff. Nice to meet you. Where are you from? He asked. I live in Guildford, she said. Where do you live? Atlanta, Georgia, he said. In America? Asked Denise. I'm in England. What do you work? He said. Yeah. I'm retired, she said. I was a school dinner lady. I'm an engineer, he said. What does that mean? Asked Denise. My pleasure to meeting you, my dear, he said. How long have you been using Facebook? He asked. And what are your experience with the people you have interacted with here? I think I'm going to make a video about common things that the scammers say, and that might well be in it. It really isn't the sort of question that a real person would ask someone they just met on Facebook or any other social media platform, is it? My grandson Benji put me on Facebook when my daughter gave me the iPad, she said. You didn't tell me what you mean by being an engineer. Okay, he said. Are you going to tell me? She asked. Yeah, he said. I work as a marine engineer. What does that mean? Asked Denise. I don't know what a marine engineer does. I'm going to be retiring after I finish this, my last contract, he said. I work in the ship, and any kind of vessel on high sea. What do you do on the ship? Asked Denise. Working his way down the scammer handbook, or at least list of questions to ask your potential victim, and ignoring any conversation that Denise might want to have, our man continued. So tell me, how many places have you visited before? Why won't you tell me what you do on the ships? Asked Denise. I'm an electrician, he said. I thought you said you were a marine engineer. I'm confused, said Denise. We're assigned to large cargo vessels travelling within coasts, he said. Whatever it is, it sounds complicated, she said. Are you on a ship now? She asked. Yes, he said, Norwegian coast. Is it nice there? I always wanted to see the fjords. Attached to an extraction company called Hydro, he said. They got rig operations up north of the Norwegian coast. What will you do when you retire? Asked Denise. If I find the woman of my dreams, I think is to spend the rest of our lives travelling to places, stay together all the time. How about you? I retired over 10 years ago, said Denise. I never did much travelling. My Albie liked to stay at home. Okay, he said. What is your favourite meal? I just want to know. Is this a game of 20 questions? Asked Denise. What's your favourite meal? Wait for it, ladies and gentlemen. Place your bets now. And if you're going to say cheeseburger, you're going to be wrong. Sauce and spaghetti, he said. Oh, said Denise. I thought you were going to say something much more interesting. You must have travelled to lots of places. Yeah, said our man. You've travelled to lots of places, and all you can say for your favourite meal is sauce and spaghetti. That's what I like, dear, he said. Oh, said Denise. What kind of sauce do you like best? And now for that all-important question. What kind of sauce does he like best? Botticelli Primavera, he said. I can only assume that the curse of autocorrect struck him and that he tried Googling Italian pasta and finished up with Italian painting. As you can probably imagine, it took Denise a little time to recover. Well, let's be honest, it took me a little time to stop laughing. Well, quite a lot of time, actually. But in pursuit of our art, we soldiered on. Our man was back the next morning with more of those questions guaranteed to set your loved one's heart aflutter.
Hello, he said. How are you doing? What is your biggest fear? Goodness, said Denise. Are you trying to psychoanalyse me? Hey, he said. It's not been easy for me here. Been busy with work. Hope you're enjoying your retirement, he said a bit later. Oh, yes, I do, said Denise. I have lovely friends and a lovely family. I'm a very lucky woman. Good to hear, he said. How many kids you got? I've got 2 children and 4 grandchildren. What about you? She asked. Wow, that's lovely. I've got just one beautiful daughter. I really do miss her so much. I apologise for reading out his part of the conversation as if it's a rather poor Victorian novel, but, you know. How old are your kids? He asked. Ian's 48, she said. He has 2 children, Benji and Freddie, and Elizabeth is 50. She has 2 children, Jason and Lisa. How old is your daughter? She's 23, he said. You've got a lovely family. Where does your daughter live? She asked. She lived there in the state. She got a boyfriend. And then, another of those amazing scammer questions. What are you doing? I give you fair warning, ladies and gentlemen. If you're eating or drinking, I suggest you stop, or at least swallow, right now. I'm standing on my head in the living room, said Denise. What are you doing? Getting ready for work, he said. So what are your plans for the day? If I manage to stand up again, always a challenge at my age, I'll get the 10:30 bus into town to do my shopping. What will you be doing? At this point, you'll realise that the light started to dawn on our man, that maybe, just maybe, Denise wasn't everything that she was telling him that she was. Oh, OK, that would be so nice, he said, followed by, Allay, how old are you? Allay, I now realise, is a word that the scammers use as a code to each other. If you understand it, then they know you're a fellow scammer. Denise, of course, played innocent. I'm 76, and my name's Denise, not Allay. Who's she? Are you confusing me with someone else? No, I'm not, he said. So, what are you going to get shopping today? I need some potatoes and some bread, she said. I might get some carrots too. Oh, OK, he said. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Can you send me a picture? Of my potatoes? She asked. No, Denise. Picture of you. If you give me your address, I'll post you one. I can't do that, Denise, he said. You know that. How do I know that? She asked. It's not safe for me. I live in the USA. Who knew? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't send photos to the USA. So what do you need my address for, if I may ask? Why isn't it safe? She asked. Is the USA so bad that people can't get post anymore? You asked me to send you a photo, remember? With apologies, obviously, to all our American viewers. You can send here on Facebook if you want to, he said. Maybe some other time, Denise. I have one of them digital cameras, she said. My grandson Benji prints my photos for me. Can't you take a picture? He said, and then, oh, OK. Would love to see your beautiful face and smile. The scammers, of course, ask for these photos because A, they want to try and make sure that you're real, and B, they collect them so that they can use them to scam other potential victims. Why isn't it safe to post a photo to the USA? She asked. How do you mean? He said, and then, still fairly convinced that Denise wasn't who she said she was, said, LA. You said it's not safe for me. I live in the USA, she replied. Why isn't it safe? I don't mind posting one. And my name's Denise, not LA. I got it, he said. It's not safe here due to my job, Denise. I got some pics I took the last time I went on vacation in... Take your pick, really. I thought you were on a cargo ship in Norway, said Denise. Why isn't that safe? I'm sure the company would receive post for you. Who'd you work for? And so he sent her a photograph of a man on vacation. I work with a company called Hydro, he said. Yeah, that's right. Send me a picture of you. If you give me the address of your company in Norway, I'll post one to you, she said. How many times do I have to tell you that, darling? I can't give you that, Denise, he said, and then, giving up the unequal struggle, retired. I got to go now. Got a lot of work to do today. Take care of yourself and stay safe. They kept missing each other for a few days, and then a man decided it was time to start asking deep and meaningful questions. So he appeared and said, "Hello, dear. How are you? Honey, what is the most important thing a person can do to improve themselves?" "Hi," said Denise. "Why are you asking? Do you feel you need to change?" "Yes," he said, "for a broad knowledge." "What do you mean, for a broad knowledge?" she asked. "From your perspective, I deduce a better understanding, my dear," he said, making no sense at all. "Better understanding of what?" asked Denise. "You aren't making sense." "LOL," he said. "Are you American?" asked Denise. "Why do you ask, my dear?" he said, all innocently. "Because you can't write a proper sentence in English," she said. "LOL," he said again. "So you aren't American," she said. "Where are you from? Nothing you say even makes sense." To which he replied, I'm sorry, Denise. My work is really getting into me, Denise. I haven't been able to think straight right. It's not been easy for me all this while. I just need to get a break so I can think straight, Denise. Hope you're good." A man took a break while he tried to learn the art of straight thinking. Then he came back a bit later and said, "I just got some few questions to ask. I hope you don't mind. Are you here?" "Hello, darling," she said. "What do you want to ask? I'm sorry you're having a bad time at work." "I'm really having a bad time thinking too much," he said, "and not letting you know more of me. What have you been up to?" "Not much," she said. "It's turned cold, so I've been knitting. You said you have some questions you want to ask." And so a man returned to the deep and meaningful. "Yes," he said, "just some few questions. What brings you the most joy in life? And how much do you judge a person by their appearance?" Their already tenuous relationship then took a nosedive. "Oh," said Denise, "I thought you meant you had something important you wanted to ask. Just more silly questions. I'm 76, darling. I'm not interested in silly games." "Silly questions?" he asked. "OK," she said. "How much do you judge a person by their appearance? Explain why you gave your answer," she said, trying to sound as much like an exam test paper as she could. "I'm not into any kind of silly game play," he said. "Been having a hard time not concentrating at work. Sometimes we misunderstood someone by their appearance or the way they talk, but that isn't who they really are. You asked me if I aren't American because of my English. That doesn't tell me how much you judge someone by their appearance," she said, to which his reply was, 2 to 3 times per week. That's how I judge a person. There's a lesson right there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ask anyone a question that you A, don't understand, and B, can't answer yourself. "What does that mean?" asked Denise. "How much do you judge someone on their appearance?" "I learn quite a bit before judgment," he said. "You see," she said, "it was a totally stupid question, wasn't it? You're happy to ask me the question, but you can't answer it yourself, because you don't even know what it means, do you? And yes, I know you aren't American." "There's not time for argument," he said. "If I haven't told you before, I have to tell you now. I was born and raised in Florence, Italy. Lived in the US for 13 years now, just minding my business." "If you say so," said Denise, "but you clearly don't know what the question you asked meant, because you can't answer it. So I refuse to answer any question unless you can answer it yourself first." Finally, getting the point, our man came up with a proper answer. "I judge a person by their appearance if they are honest, reliable, kind, and compassionate," he said, "pacific, and can control anger. I'm asking this just to know more of you. And why will I ask questions I do not have an answer to?" he asked. Well, it's taken you about 4 tries to answer it, said Denise. If you were born and raised in Italy, she continued, why don't you have an Italian name? And no, you don't get 4 goes at making up a sensible answer. No 4 goes, he said. Antonio is my Italian name. Is that the best you can do? Said Denise. Or do you want to try again? I don't understand, he said. My full names are Wilson Antonio Benedictus. I'm just wondering how you're feeling right now, waiting for my answers. Do you want more of it? To make it 3? Yes, go on, said Denise, who by now was in full-on facetious mode, as you're about to find out. Please, let me know how you're feeling today, he said. That matters to me than this. He followed that with an even more brilliant typo. I hope I'm pissing you off, he said. I think he meant, I hope I'm not pissing you off. Oh no, said Denise, you're way too much fun to piss me off. But we agreed you were going to answer your own questions first. So, how are you feeling today? Better now that I'm talking to you, he said. How about you? I'm enjoying your ridiculous answers, said Denise. My answers are ridiculous, he said. Are you making fun of me? Yes, I am, said Denise, but you make it so easy. To which our man replied, Wow. There was a bit more ridiculousness, and then finally he got the point and blocked Denise. That's actually quite unusual. They don't usually bother. It's usually me that finishes up blocking them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, please share it, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in another video.